Right now, it is lunchtime in Chaldea's cafeteria. Normally, it meant that Shirou would be at the cafeteria catering to Arturia and her counterparts, Ishtar and her counterparts, Parvati, Bibi and her sisters, Ilya and her counterparts, Miyu, Astria, Irisville, Jaguarman, and Karitsagu alongside with Emiya and Emiya Alter helping him. However, today wasn't the usual case. Because Shirou is not at the cafeteria yet. And it was making Arturia and her counterparts worried. "Shirou, what's taking you so long?" Arturia muttered. "Relax, older me, I think he's busy with something," Arturia Lily said. "Well, let's hope what business he has will be finished soon." "He can't keep all of us waiting," Arturia Alter said. "Agreed. It's almost lunch, and I'm getting hungry," Lancer Arturia said. "Same," Lancer Arturia Alter said. "Shirou, hurry up, we're hungry here," Ruler Arturia said. "Shirou, where are you?" Archer Arturia said. "Hurry up, or else your king will get mad soon," Rider Arturia Alter said. "Yeah, hurry up, Shirou," Santa Arturia Alter said. "When is Shirou going to arrive?" "I'm starving," Mysterious Heroine X moaned. "Me too, I want some of Shirou's cooking now," Mysterious Heroine X Alter said. "Same," Mysterious Heroine XX moaned. While Arturia and her counterparts were at their table, moaning when Shirou was going to arrive, Ishtar and her counterparts, Parvati, Bibi and her sisters, Ilya and her counterparts, Miyu, Astria, Irisville, Jaguarman, Karitsagu, Emiya and Emiya Alter were looking at the scene. "Geez. Wonder what's Emiya up to now," Ishtar said. "I don't know. Maybe Da Vinci is keeping him for something, I guess," Writer Ishtar said. "I hope so. He's keeping everyone here waiting," Ereshkigal said. "Wonder what Senpai is up to," Parvati said. "How should I know?" Kama replied. "Anyway, Senpai should hurry up, or else I'll punish him," Bibi said sadistically with a smile on her face. "Bibi, please don't," Passionlip said. "TCH, wonder what's taking him so long," Melt Lilith muttered. "I don't know," King Proteus said. It's not like Oniai-chan to be this late," Ilya said. "You have a point there. Usually, he would be here right now. Wonder what's keeping him busy," Kuro replied. "Who knows? Maybe he's busy with something again," Saitonai said. "Even still, he's really late," Miyu said. "Mel, what's Shirou up to now?" Astria said. "Shirou, Wani-san is hungry right now," Jaguarman moaned. "Shirou, what's taking you so long? Mom can't keep waiting forever, you know," Irisville said. Karitsaga didn't say anything. Even Emiya and Emiya Alter, who are in the kitchen now, were wondering why their younger self hasn't arrived yet. "Okay, even if he may be my younger self, it's not like him to be this late, what's going on?" Emiya thought. "What's going on with my younger self?" Emiya Alter thought. As everyone was wondering where Shirou was, it was then that Ritsuka and Mashu came into the room with a weird look on their faces. "Master? What are you doing here?" "Oh, hey Emiya. Well, we have a small problem here," Ritsuka said. "What do you mean? What kind of problem is it?" "Well, it has something to do with Shirou-san," Mashu said. That got the girls in the cafeteria riled up. "Shirou? What happened to him?" Arturia and her counterparts yelled. "Did something bad happen to Emiya-kun?" Ishtar and her counterparts asked. "Is Senpai alright?" Parvati, Bibi and her sisters said. What happened to Oniai-chan? Ilya, her counterparts, and Miyu yelled. Is Shirou alright? Astria said. What happened to my son? Irisville asked. What has Shirou gotten himself into this time? Jaguar Man yelled. As the girls were done with their yelling, Ritsuka took a long sigh of breath before saying the situation that happened to Shirou. It's okay. Nothing bad happened to Shirou. He's fine, I think, Ritsuka said. What do you mean by that? They exclaimed. Well, just take a look and you'll see. Shiro-san, can you come over here please? Mashu said. Everyone was confused with what Mashu said. However, it was then that a new figure came into the room and it shocked everyone upon looking at him. Even Kuretsugu and then Emiya's were shocked upon seeing it. Because the figure that came into the room was Shirou, but as a child, wearing normal clothes. Hey, everyone! Shirou said. At that moment, the cafeteria went into chaos upon looking at Kid Shirou. Shirou? Arturia and her counterparts yelled. Emiyakun? Ishtar and her counterparts yelled. Senpai? Parvati, BB and her sisters yelled. Oniai-chan? Ilya, Kuro, Saitonai, and Miyu yelled. Shirou? Astria yelled. Shirou? Irisville and Jaguar Man yelled. Shirou? Kuretsugu yelled. What the hell? Emiya and Emiya Alter yelled. As everyone was in chaos over the fact that Shirou was suddenly reverted into a child, Ritsuka and Mashu then tried to calm everyone down, but it failed as everyone was still going crazy. Senpai, what should we do? I don't think we can calm them down. Mashu asked Ritsuka. Honestly, I have no idea, Mashu. Ritsuka replied. Shirou sighed. He then went towards to where the chaos was. Everyone. Can all of you calm down please? I'll explain why I look like this right now, so please. Would everyone calm down right now? At that moment, upon hearing Kid Shirou's voice, everyone stopped going crazy and calmed themselves down. Especially Arturia and her counterparts, Ishtar and her counterparts, Parvati, BB and her sisters, Ilya and her counterparts, Miyu, Astria, and Irisville, because upon hearing Kid Shirou's voice, it made their hearts go crazy. Why yeah, Shirou, Arturia and her counterparts said. Sorry Emiya-kun, Ishtar and her counterparts said. Senpai. Parvati, BB and her sisters said. Oniai-chan. Ilya, Kuro, Saitonai, and Miyu said. Shirou. Astria said. Shirou. Irisville and Jaguar Man said. Upon taking a closer look upon Kid Shirou, all of them have one thought in mind. Shirou/Emiyakun/Senpai/Oniai-chan/Shirou looks so cute right now. Shirou let out a sigh as everything was quiet again. Looks like everything calmed down master, Shirou said. Why yeah, Ritsuka said. Well, it's a relief that Shiro-san was able to calm everyone down, Mashu said. Shirou, can you explain how you turned out like this? Kuretsugu asked. Yeah. I want to know how you turned into a kid again. Jaguar Man yelled. Us too. Arturia and her counterparts, Ishtar and her counterparts, Parvati, BB and her sisters, Ilya and her counterparts, Miyu, Astria, and Irisville said. Well, that would be my fault, a new voice said. Everyone then turned to the source of the new voice. As so, a person was shown, and it was Da Vinci. Da Vinci? You're responsible for turning my younger self into this? Emiya asked. Yes. How? Emiya Alter asked. Well, what happened was that earlier, I may have accidentally spilled a creation of mine onto Shirou. Huh, and what creation would that be? Irisabiel asked. Well, it was a potion that was supposed to make a servant younger. However, what happened was that when I was done making it, in my excitement, I may have accidentally threw it at Shirou when he stopped by to drop off something. Everyone besides Shirou, Ritsuka, and Mashu were in shock over what happened. So, let me guess this straight. What happened was that you created a potion that makes people younger, and in your excitement, you accidentally threw it at Shirou when he arrived at your doorstep. Is that correct? Kuritsugu asked. Yes. Well, that explains a few things, although why did you make such a thing? Jaguarman asked. Well, it's because I was bored. Everyone was baffled from Da Vinci's answer. That's it? You were just bored, so you made that potion? Yes, Da Vinci said. Shirou sighed at Da Vinci's answer. What's up the mind of geniuses? Does Da Vinci always think like this? Does she create something out of boredom? I'll never know, he thought as he took a seat at the table where everyone was at. So yeah, guess I'll be stuck like this for a while. Really? How long? Arturia asked. Until Da Vinci makes a cure. Ask her. Everyone then turned to Da Vinci. Shirou's right. Just give me a few days to make a cure and he'll be back to normal. Well, if you say so. Parvati said nervously. Shirou sighed again as the situation was under control again. Well, I guess it's time for me to go into the kitchen now. Arturia and her counterparts must be starving at this point. He thought as he got off from his seat. However, before he could even head towards the kitchen, Irisabiel came up behind, lifted him up, and gave him a giant hug. Wah mom? Shirou said. Wah wah. Shirou looked so adorable in this form. I want to keep him like this forever. Irisabiel said with a smile on her face as she kept hugging him while spinning around like a little girl. Mama. Let Oniai-chan this instant. Ilias said. Yeah. You're hurting him. Kuro replied in agreement. And he looks like he's in pain. Saitonai said. Please let him go. Miyu said. HM? Oniai-chan? But in this case, shouldn't all of you call him little brother? Ilya, Kuro, Saitonai, and Miyu were quiet for a moment. What? They said. Yeah. In this scenario, all of you should call him little brother. After all, he's younger than all of you, isn't he? Irisabiel said happily. Upon hearing this, Ilya, Kuro, Saitonai, and Miyu then turned to Da Vinci for answers. Da Vinci, how old is Shirou right now? Ilya asked. Da Vinci thought about what Ilya asked and replied, well, judging from how he looks, I would say about 7 years old, I guess. Why? Ilya, Kuro, Saitonai, and Miyu was silent for a moment from hearing this. For a while nothing happened as Irisabiel continued to hug Shirou. Then Ilya said something. Mama, can you let Shirou down for a moment? HM? Why Ilya-chan? Jay just let him down for a moment. Despite being confused, Irisabiel let go of Shirou and placed him down on the ground. As Shirou touched the ground softly, Ilya, Kuro, Saitonai, and Miyu then came up to Shirou. What is it? Oniai-chan, considering what your age is right now, can you do something for us? They asked. Sure. What is it? Ilya, Kuro, Saitonai, and Miyu took a deep breath before saying it in unison. Can you call all of us, Wani-chan? Shirou was confused. Why? Jay, just do it. For a moment, there was silence in the cafeteria as Illy, Kuro, Saitonai, and Miyu were waiting for his answer. Fine, Wani-chan. Shirou said with a bit of embarrassment in his voice. At that moment Emiya, Shirou, Saitonai, and Miyu felt something in their hearts switch upon hearing Shirou calling them Wani-chan. For a moment they thought they were going to faint from how cute it sounded. Especially from Kid Shirou's voice. Noticing Emiya's, Shirou's, Saitonai's, and Miyu's reactions, Shirou asked, "Are all of you alright?" "Why yeah," they muttered as they returned to their seats with a blush on their faces. So cute." Shirou sighed as the mess he was forced into was over. He then went over to the kitchen area to resume his daily duties, or so as he thought. Because he was stopped by both Emiya and Emiya Alter before he could get in. "Hold on, you can't come here," Emiya said. "Why?" Shirou asked. "Because you're not in your usual condition to do this," Emiya Alter said. "What do you mean by that?" "I'm fine, you know," Shirou argued. "You may be, but let me ask you this, how are you going to reach the stove and the cabinets?" Emiya asked. "Well. Exactly. You're too short to reach them. So just for once, give up and return to your seat," Emiya Alter said. Realizing that his alternate counterparts were right, Shirou went back to his seat. "Fine," he said with a pouty face. As he went back to his seat, everyone saw his face and were immediately smitten by how cute it looked. "See cute," Arturia and her counterparts thought. "Wah, who would have thought that Emiya-kun had a side like this?" Ishtar and her counterparts thought. "Senpai in this form, I want to take him and get him to wear some kids' clothes." Parvati, BB, and her sisters thought. "Oniai-chan just called me Wani-chan." Emiya, Shirou, Saitonai, and Miyu thought happily. So this is what Shirou looked like as a child, yeah. I want to take him away from that useless goddess and keep him forever like this. Astria thought. Wow. Shirou looks so adorable. Especially with the pouty face he's making right now. Irisville and Jaguarman thought. Wow. I have never seen something like this happen before. Ritsuka and Mashu thought. Geez. This is getting way out of hand. Hope this doesn't escalate even further. Kuritsugu. Emiya and Emiya Alter thought. However, fate had other plans, because it was then that ruler Arturia then came up to Shirou. Arturia? Shirou. Hope you don't mind me doing this. Ruler Arturia said as she took off her fake bunny ears. Shirou was confused with what Ruler Arturia just said. However, what happened next was that she placed them on Shirou's head. And the result was pure chaos. Because when Ruler Arturia saw the result of her actions, she felt like she was going to pass out from how cute Shirou looked with the fake bunny ears. So cute, she thought. And then she passed out, shocking Shirou. Arturia, he said as he caught her. Are you okay? She didn't say anything. Everyone. I need some help here. However, when everyone saw Shirou with the fake bunny ears on his head, like Ruler Arturia, they all passed out too, except for Ritsuka, Mashu, Da Vinci, Kuritsugu, and the Emiyas. Did we just see that? Ritsuka said. Why yeah. It seems everyone has fallen heels over Shirou wearing those fake bunny ears, senpai, Mashu said. Wow. Now that's a weapon of mass destruction if I've ever seen one before, Da Vinci said. Crap. I think we just jinxed it. Kuritsugu, Emiya, and Emiya Alter thought. Everyone. Shirou yelled in worry. Shirou sighed as he was walking in Chaldea's hallway. It was only a few minutes since he became a kid again, and yet it caused chaos with Arturia and her counterparts, Ishtar and her counterparts, Parvati, BB and her sisters, Emiya and her counterparts, Miyu, Astria, I Reveal, and Jaguar Man, in which all of them were knocked out from seeing Shirou wearing fake bunny ears. Well, at least we managed to get them to the nurse's office. Although why did nearly everyone passed out upon seeing me wearing the fake bunny ears from earlier? As he was walking, he ended up bumping into a few certain saber faces. My Preetor. Saber Nero said with excitement upon seeing Shirou. But you look different today, did something bad happen to you? Shirou sighed again. Da Vinci accidentally threw a potion at me that turned me into a child. Eh? A potion regains a servant's youth, that sounds interesting. Castor Nero said. Moo. Regaining my youth should also regain my beauty. Even though I'm already beautiful. Bride Nero said. Exactly. Look at our Preetor for example. He got struck with Da Vinci's youth potion and he's even more beautiful and cuter too. Saber Nero said as she lifted him up. Wah. And Nero. So, this is what my Preetor looks like when he was a child, amazing. Castor Nero said. Moo. All he needs right now is clothing that suits his cuteness. Bride Nero said with smile on her face. Good idea. Saber Nero said as she put Shirou down. Preetor. Wait for us. We'll be bringing you some clothes that will suit you. We'll drop them off at your room. And Nero and her counterparts soon left, leaving Shirou alone. What just happened now? Despite being confused, Shirou continued walking towards his room to get some rest. However, as his ear-rank luck would have it, someone else noticed him. Shirou? Shirou-san? Shirou looked to see Jeanne d'Arc and her counterparts looking at him with wonder in their eyes. Jeanne d'Arc? Shirou. What happened to you? Jeanne d'Arc asked. This question again, huh? Well, to make a long story short, Da Vinci made me young again with a potion she created on accident. I see. Jeanne d'Arc said. Wow, you turned so small, Shirou-san. Jeanne d'Arc Alter, Santa Lily said. Ha 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 ha. You look ridiculous right now. Jeanne d'Arc Alter said with laughter. You look so small, it's hilarious to look right at you right now. Older me. Don't make fun of him. He looks cute in my opinion. Yeah, little sister. He looks adorable right now. Jeanne d'Arc said. Shirou sighed. Anyways, I need to go to my room now, so can I go now? Jeanne d'Arc Alter, Santa Lily smiled. Sure. You can go now. Okay. Bye everyone. Bye Shirou. Jeanne d'Arc said. Bye Shirou-san. Jeanne d'Arc Alter, Santa Lily said. TCH. Bye Shirou. Jeanne d'Arc Alter said. Shirou then left Jeanne d'Arc and her counterparts. So that's Shirou-san when he was young. Jeanne d'Arc Alter, Santa Lily said. Yeah. Jeanne d'Arc Alter said. Jeanne d'Arc muttered. What is a proper older me? Jeanne d'Arc Alter, Santa Lily asked. Well, I suddenly feel like wanting a little brother now, and it feels like Shirou could fulfill that position. Jeanne d'Arc Alter suddenly turned to Jeanne and yelled, Don't do it. Meanwhile, Shirou heard the yelling from Jeanne d'Arc and her counterparts and wondering to himself, what's with the yelling? However, before he could think any further, two more servants noticed him. Shirou-san? Okita and Okita Alter? Shirou-san. Is that you? Okita asked. Yeah, Shirou replied. How did you end up so small? Well, blame Da Vinci for that. I see. Shirou, you are so small. Okita Alter said as she continued to look at Shirou's new childlike body. Shirou sighed. Is me turning into a kid really that surprising? Well, yes. To be fair, we never had this problem before, Okita replied. Figures. Do you want this? Okita Alter asked as she pulled out some odin on a stick. Odin on a stick? Yes. Alter me, where did you get that? From my pocket. Don't worry, it's safe to eat. Oh, okay. Thanks, Shirou said as he grabbed the odin on a stick from Okita Alter's hand. He then took a bite of the odin. Well. How is it? Okita Alter asked. It's good. Okita Alter smiled. Good, she said as she kneeled and rubbed Shirou's head. So soft, and cute too. Alter me? We need to go now. Okita said, snapping Okita Alter from her thoughts. Can I do this a bit longer? Okita Alter said with a pout. No. We need to go now. Fine. Okita Alter said with a sigh as she got up. Bye Shirou. Hope to see you later. Bye Okita Alter. Bye Okita, Shirou replied. And the two parted ways. Hey unaltered me. What is it? The way Shirou is now, is way cuter. Don't you think so? Okita blushed at the question her altered counterpart said. What are you saying? Although, she does have a point, Shirou-san as a kid does look cute. Meanwhile, Shirou sighed as he continued walking. Well, this was something I did not expect. First was Nero and her counterparts, then Jean Dark and her counterparts, and Okita and her counterpart. Who's next, Musashi? As if his thoughts betrayed him, Musashi appeared in front of him as she walked by. Shirou-kun? Is that you? Musashi said, surprised by Shirou's change in body. Just, my luck. He thought as he mentally sighed. Yes Musashi, it's me. And before you want to ask questions, it's because of Da Vinci that I'm like this. Da Vinci? That genius? Yes. And she's the reason why you're like this? Yes. I see. She muttered as she looked at Shirou around carefully. Oh my god, this is what Shirou-kun looked like when he was a kid. He's so adorable that I want to hug him right now. Musashi, are you okay? Yeah, why? Well, you're drooling a bit. Musashi then wiped her mouth to see if what Shirou said was true. As she did, she noticed that there was drool coming from her mouth. Realizing this, she immediately blushed. Musashi, are sure you okay? Shirou asked. Why yeah. Jay just let me to the washroom for a moment, she said as she quickly left before heading towards the bathroom. Shirou was confused as he watched her run away quickly. What was going on with her? However, it was then that Shirou heard a bunch of collective voices calling out to him. Queen Shirou. Mother. Foe. Shirou turned around to see Foe coming at him along with the Knights of the Round and Merlin coming behind him. As Foe came in front of him, Shirou picked Foe up and Foe then moved onto his head. Queen Shirou. Are you alright? Gawain asked. Why yeah. Let me guess, you're all here because you heard about what happened to Arturia and her counterparts? Yes. When we all heard about them fainting, we immediately rushed to where they were. When we got there, Nightingale told us what happened, along with what happened to you, Lancelot said. I see. But how did you find me? Well, for some reason, it was Foe that found you, Tristan said. Yeah. As soon as we asked Foe to find you, Foe immediately sprinted out of the nurse's office and went to find you so easily, Bedivere said. Yeah. Although I don't know how Foe managed to find you so easily. Gareth said. Me neither. Well, at least we managed to find you, Mother, Mordred said. I see. How are Arturia and her counterparts? They're doing fine at the moment. They're probably awake right now, Merlin said. I see. Well, that's good news at least, Shirou said. While Shirou said that, Fo then started to play with Shirou's head, making him laugh a bit. Hey Fo, what are you up to? Fo said happily as he continued to play with Shirou's head. Shirou then continued to play with Fo while the Knights of the Round and Merlin watched it with wonder in their eyes. Wow. I have never seen our queen before like this, Gawain said. Yeah. And I have never seen Fo like this, Lancelot said. This isn't fair. How is it that little beast always kicks me every time in the face while he plays with Shirou and Masha like this? Merlin muttered. Heh. It's probably karma from all the times you've kept messing with us, Merlin, Mordred said with a chuckle. That is true, Tristan said. Totally, Gareth said. Sorry Merlin, but even I agree with them, Bedivere said. Merlin sighed. You guys are mean. Shirou nervously chuckled at the conversation the Knights of the Round were having with Merlin. Well then, I don't want to keep all of you busy, so I'll be taking my leave now. As you wish, my queen, Gawain said. Good. Bye everyone. Keep up the good work. Why yes, the Knights of the Round exclaimed. And the two groups departed. Eventually, he arrived at his room. Well, I've finally arrived at my room. Hopefully nothing bad will happen. However, his thoughts were interrupted by a certain someone who was creeping up behind. Oh my! Shirou turned around to see a servant who was staring at him with fish eyes. That servant happened to be Castor Giles. Who are you? HM? Oh, excuse my interruptions. My name is Gillis Darius. And I would like you to come with me, he said in a creepy tone. Even by looking at him, Shirou already knew this servant was one he should not go with. As Castor Gillis was creeping up on him even closer, Shirou moved backwards until the point where his back was at the wall. This guy is bad news. Well, what are you waiting for? He said creepily while reaching towards him. However, before he could even touch him, an armored hand was on Castor Gillis's shoulder. Gillis turned around to see Saber Arturia behind him. And she did not look happy. Arturia? Shirou said. In an instant, Saber Arturia punched Castor Gillis and he was sent flying across the hallway. As Castor Gillis landed onto the ground, Arturia yelled out one thing. Stay away from Shirou. Shirou was surprised by Arturia's outburst. Arturia? Arturia then came up to Shirou and grabbed his hand. Shirou, come with me, she said as she grabbed him to his room. She then locked the door, let go of Shirou's hand, and sat on one of the chairs in his room while Shirou sat on the bed. Shirou, are you okay? Did he do anything to you? Saber Arturia asked worryingly. No. Why? Saber Arturia let out a sigh of relief. That's good. She then went over to Shirou and placed both of her hands onto Shirou's shoulders. Listen Shirou, by any circumstances, do not ever meet that servant. You mean the Castor version of Gillis? Yes. Me and my counterparts do not want you to meet him ever again. You can say that again, he creeps me out. Yes, and let's just say, he did some unforgivable things in the 4th Fuyuki Holy Grail War. Not wanting to know what things Castor Gillis did and hearing the tone Arturia had while taking about him, Shirou quickly complied to Saber Arturia's request. You don't have to say any more. I don't need to know. Arturia let out a sigh of relief. Good. So you won't meet him again? Yes. Good. But to be on the safe side, you'll be under watch from me and my counterparts for a while. Shirou was shocked upon hearing this. It has been a few days since Shirou was turned into a kid, and the effects were driving him crazy. First, since he was turned into a child, he discovered that his parameters were cut by half, which meant that he was not allowed to go on missions under orders from everyone that knew him dearly. Second, since he was turned into a kid, he wasn't allowed to go into the kitchen because of how short he was. And third was the amount of protection he was receiving from Arturia and her counterparts, Ishtar and her counterparts, Parvati, Bibi and her sisters, Ilya and her counterparts, Miyu, Astria, Iridial, Jaguarman, the Knights of the Round, and surprisingly, Kiritsugu, Nero and her counterparts, Jeanne d'Arc and her counterparts, Okita and her counterpart, and Musashi. Right now, Shirou was in Da Vinci's workshop waiting for Da Vinci to be done making the cure of his problem. So? How is it, Da Vinci? Just give me a moment, Shirou. It'll be done within a few minutes. I see. Keep up the good work, Da Vinci. You don't have to tell me. By the way, how's life as a kid treating you? Shirou sighed. It's been crazy ever since then. I had to take a break from cooking because my size wouldn't allow me to reach the stoves, Arturia and her counterparts, Tosaka and her counterparts, Sakura and her counterparts, Ilya and her counterparts, Miyu, Luvia, Mom, Fujine, my old man, Nero and her counterparts, Jeanne and her counterparts, Okita and her counterpart, Musashi, and the Knights of the Round were overprotective of me, and I'd been receiving a lot of attention from the people that knew me. Really? How did it go? Da Vinci asked with a grin on her face. Well, Siyu and his counterparts laughed at the fact that I turned into a kid. Medusa and her counterparts had varied reactions. Medusa just looked at me curiously, Anna gave me a cookie, and Gorgon didn't say anything. Medea didn't say anything, Sasaki was chuckling over how I turned into a kid, Hercules just yelled at me, and Archer Gilgamesh, well, he was taunting and laughing at me, and it did not end well for him. Really? What happened? Shirou sighed again. Arturia and her counterparts unleashed all of their noble phantasms on him upon hearing that he made fun of me. Things got even crazier when everyone else heard about it and did the same on him. Da Vinci was laughing when she heard this. Wow. Can't believe that happened. Yeah. In fact, when Caster Gilgamesh and Kid Gilgamesh saw the whole thing, you want to know what they described it as? What? A scene of bloodshed. That's what they called it. Wow. Guess that'll teach that arrogant king a lesson then, Da Vinci said with laughter. Speaking of which, how were the others? Well, Scathach and her counterpart didn't mind as long as I can fight, and Jack and her friends, Amakusa, Arthur, Diarmuid, Alexander, and Waver were surprised seeing me like this. I see, you have it rough, don't you? You don't have to tell me. Shirou moaned. Da Vinci giggled. Anyways, I'm done. Here's the potion, she said as she handed Shirou the completed potion. As Shirou grabbed the potion, he took the cap off and drank the potion. For the first seconds, nothing happened to him. Then suddenly, he felt an aura around him, and in an instant, he reverted to his normal self. Phew. I'm back in my old body again, Shirou said with a sigh of relief. Yeah. Are there any problems? I don't think there are any. Anyways, thanks for the help, Da Vinci. No problem, Shirou. Just call me if there are any side effects. Okay. I'll be leaving now, Shirou said as he began to leave Da Vinci's workshop. Bye, Da Vinci. Bye, Shirou. And Shirou left, leaving Da Vinci in her workshop. Well, that was interesting. Wonder what I should make next. Make. Everyone. Thank you for watching Shirou over when he was turned into a kid. It was nothing Irispiel, Arturia, and her counterparts said. Yeah. Watching Emiya was easy, Ishtar and her counterparts said. And it was quite a fun experience for all of us, Parvati, Bibi, and her sisters said. Although we are going to miss Oniai-chan calling us Wani-chan. Ilya and her counterparts said along with Miyu. And seeing him as a child. Astria and Jaguarman said. Umu. Seeing our Preetor as a child was quite an adventure. Yeah. Who would have even known that Shirou-san was this adorable? Jean Dark Alter, Santa Lily said. I know, right? Jean Dark said. Well, I'll admit, he was cute. Jean Dark Alter muttered. Watching over Shirou-san was quite peaceful, Okita and her alter said. Yeah. And he was adorable too. Musashi said. Lady Irisville, watching Shirou was quite interesting. Especially when he plays with Foe, the Knights of the Round said. Yeah. And I'm jealous with how Foe acts differently when he's with Shirou. Merlin muttered. Irisville smiled. I would like to do something to return the favor though, let me see. She said as she checked her dress for something. No, it's really fine, Arturia and her counterparts said. That's right, there's no need to dash Ishtar and her counterparts said, but was cut off. I only happen to have these pictures of Shirou with me, she said as she held up pictures of child Shirou. At that moment, everyone was in shock with what Irisville just revealed. Would all of you like them? She asked with a smile on her face.